TV YouTube channel. Watch morning show host Seth Lawrence interview guests live, as well as watch archived video podcasts of any interview you missed. Whether on Facebook or YouTube, we're providing two more ways that Central Illinois' local news station, WHOW, delivers compelling content for you.
DeWitt County's #1 source for local news is on the air and online 24 hours a day. The latest local news stories are heard every hour on Central Illinois' news station, the Big 1520 AM and 92.3 FM WHOW. Stream live at DeWittDailyNews.com. They're also heard every hour on the station that's your easy choice, 95.9 FM WEZC. And to read the latest local news on your electronic device, including tablets, iPhones, and smartphones, go to DeWittDailyNews.com. DeWitt County's #1 source for local news is on the air, online 24 hours a day.
Today's morning show can be heard by downloading the free WHOW mobile app in your favorite store.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence, and the WHOW morning show streams live to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin insurance agent in Clinton. Joining me on this segment of the morning show is Caitlin Mellendorf, nutrition educator with the University of Illinois Extension in DeWitt, Macon, and Piatt counties. And good morning, Caitlin. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm doing just great. How are you?
Doing good. Thanks for asking, and thanks as always for making time with us. And I really like our conversation piece today, Caitlin. We're going to start talking about how we can maybe be more effective grocery shoppers. Of course, grocery prices have just about across the board exponentially gone up in the last few months here as we come out of COVID and deal with the inflation crisis and deal with supply chain issues and things of that nature. So let's just kind of start with some basic things we can do and maybe dive in from there. What do you have for us today?
I know my grocery bill every week. I look at it and I go, I feel like I'm not getting my money's worth.
Right.
So I think this is a very timely topic, I bet, for a lot of people. I know at least here in Central Illinois, this has just skyrocketed over the weekend. So spending our money wisely is going to be really important to kind of feel that while we kind of feel this crunch. So in terms of grocery shopping or shopping for food, there's a lot of little things that when you put them together, we can reduce that food cost, that grocery bill. So the one that I want to start with is meal planning. Mm-hmm. So this is really helpful for people, one, to just have an idea of, I'm going to have this, these meals for dinner. I'm going to stock these items for breakfast. So sitting down and spending some time writing out a plan for, okay, if I'm someone who eats breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks, giving myself a general idea of, what am I going to have in this week, for example. And that is helpful from the budget perspective because you're only shopping for what you plan to eat. It also has some other benefits like reducing food waste and also giving that sense of or reducing that sense of uncertainty of like, okay, well, it's 5 o'clock. I just picked up the kids. I don't know what we're having for dinner. I got to scramble and find something. So having that meal plan can really help kind of alleviate that worry at the end of the workday. Mm-hmm. But from the money perspective, there's some good evidence that we see with people tend to spend less if they have an idea of, okay, we're just going to have these meals and for the week. And that's what we're going to stick to. And that can really be helpful in saving the money.
Mm-hmm. One thing with meal planning, and maybe I'm an outlier when it comes to that, but if I'm like I take last week for example, I was super busy at the end of the week. I had a couple of trips of over an hour plus for basketball games and then meetings and things of that nature. So really wasn't able to dedicate sitting down for just 20 minutes and thinking about, okay, this is what I want to do for food next week. This is what I need. Here's a list, things like that. I wasn't able to do that. So when I got in the car on Saturday to go grocery shopping, I'm kind of in my mind thinking, okay, well, I need this, I need this, I need that. And, not making a list, just kind of in my mind, putting things together. And I get to the grocery store and I walk out. And by the time I get home, it's like, oh no, I forgot like 6 things that I needed for meals this week. So from my perspective, and like I said, maybe I'm an outlier, I don't know, but perhaps writing things down, dedicating 20, 30 minutes to discuss, talking with your spouse or significant other or whatever the case may be, writing things down, what you need, what you're going to do, that has been helpful for me at least.
Yeah, and I think we're in the same boat. We are, we can make a list, we can think about what we want to eat. If you're not that kind of person and you prefer more of the digital route, there are different subscription services that will essentially write your shopping list for you. So of course you do have to pay. I know we're talking about a budget topic today, but you would have to pay for those subscription services. But if you feel like saving time is also saving money for you, maybe that's worth looking into some of these subscription services where you pick out the week's worth of meals, and they basically generate a shopping list and the recipes to go along with it. So there's also that route to consider if you're okay spending that extra bit of money. And for some people, it's well worth that resource just to have that. And you were talking about, walking into the store and not being sure if you had something, and maybe you're like, I think I have this at home, and you get home and you realize, oh shoot, I didn't get that, and then you have to make another trip back to the store possibly. So that's part of this meal planning process, is also checking what you have in your kitchen, in your storage area, your pantry, your fridge, your freezer. And I know I'm guilty of this too, where I spin I've got a corner cabinet, so I spin through and I'm like, I think I have all this stuff I need, and I realized that there was that one can of beans tucked way back in the cabinet. I didn't see it. So we've all been there, but that is part of reducing that food cost, of double checking that you have what you need so that you're not spending it again, because then that's money that's already now tied up in that food that's going to sit in your cabinet, in your fridge. So do think about checking your pantry, your cabinet, your fridge, your freezer before you, as you're writing that shopping list before you go shopping.
Caitlin, talk to me a little bit about ways to find cost-effective food, if you will, foods that don't maybe cost a lot and they can go a long ways in protein and nutrients and things like that. What do you have for us there?
So generally, the best savings is going to come from making recipes from scratch. Now, of course, there are limitations for every kitchen, every family, every person. But in general, if you are taking the time to, for example, if you're going to make a beef stew, if you cut up the meat on its own, you cut up the carrots on its own, you're going to be saving money. It is more time, it is more effort. But when you buy the pre-cut stew meat, so if you take the whole roast, and the butcher in the back is the one that cuts those into pieces, you're paying for his part of his time and his salary. Same for buying pre-cut carrots. You are going to be paying for someone else to do that work. So when possible, know that cooking more from scratch and doing that extra prep work is going to save money, typically. Of course, there's going to be exceptions everywhere. So that's one way to start. Another is to consider store brands. So you can always try out a store brand, which generally is just a little bit cheaper. I know I've actually found some store brands that have really similar taste and texture and quality, and what I would consider a pretty equal product to a name brand. And so that's another option, to find that kind of lower cost option. And then we do want to consider things like low cost protein. So certainly meat is going to be really expensive right now. I know we saw that a lot throughout the pandemic. So if you are someone who wants to try out a meatless meal once a week, that's a great option. So using things like beans or tofu or eggs to have that protein, but not use more expensive meat. Same for fruits and vegetables. Buying fresh is expensive. And so doing that combination. So you might buy some foods fresh, bananas. Maybe you buy bananas fresh, but you're going to buy your peaches right now, especially here in early spring. Maybe you're going to buy those in the can because the fresh ones are expensive. Same for frozen fruits and vegetables. So if you're not seeing, I know I'm not seeing great green beans right now, where I think we're just kind of just out of season really everywhere for those. But frozen green beans, canned green beans are going to be a really good substitute. Yes, they taste a little bit different. It's going to be a different texture than our green beans, but it's a very cost-effective measure. And especially when foods are out of season or just expensive for your budget right now, they're a great option because they are nutritionally equivalent. We don't see big changes in the fat content or the protein or the carbohydrates from this canning process or freezing process. Yes, canned goods are a little bit more salty, so do take that into consideration if you need to reduce sodium. Look for lower sodium canned goods where they're available.
Sure. So good advice there for sure. And Caitlin, I'll tell you what, I look at the clock rather than dive into more tips that we can take home with us. Let's put that on the back burner and revisit it in the second segment. But in the meantime, how do folks just find, maybe recipes that you recommend that offer really low cost options in terms of ingredients, but they're still healthy and things of that nature? What do you have for us there?
So with that, in Illinois, we are the coordinator for SNAP-Ed, which is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program education. So for individuals that have SNAP benefits and are receiving those assistances, we have a whole page dedicated to education recipes that are, one, limited in ingredients. So there's a lot of 5-ingredient recipes and are using ingredients that are fairly low cost. And at that, our SNAP-Ed program is called Eat, Move, Save. And so if you search for Eat, Move, Save Illinois, it'll pop up, or it's at eat-move-save.extension.illinois.edu. And they also have social media pages where they post information and recipes. And I was just looking at one because I'm going to be updating some blogs here. I'm looking at celery as my exciting blog topic for the day. But they have some really yummy recipes for cheesy rice with tomatoes, apple tuna salad, and it's a really fun snack that is, ever had ants on a log, but this time it's animal crackers on a log.
Sure. A lot of good things to check out there. Very good, Caitlin. Let's take a time out here. Caitlin Mellendorf, nutrition educator with the University of Illinois Extension, our guest on the phone. And again, the morning show streams live to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin insurance agent in Clinton. More to come on the WHOW Morning Show.
Connected.
Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network for this Wednesday morning. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn lower, beans higher, wheat trading double-digit lower. March corn 7.52 1/4, down 2 1/4. May corn down 7.46. December corn 6.39 1/4, down 4 1/2. March beans 17.14, up 9 1/2. May beans up 11, $17 3/4. November beans up 6, 14.79 1/4. May wheat 12.11 3/4, down 74 3/4. July wheat down 73 1/4, 11.22. March bean meal 498.40, up 8.50. March bean oil up $1.62, 81.30. In the livestock market at this hour, April live cattle 138.70, down 35 cents. March feeder cattle up $0.50, 154.52. And April lean hogs currently 102.02. That's down 90 cents. Look at the markets on this Wednesday morning. Jim Taylor, RFD.
Getting your pet's needed medications is easy with Covenant Animal Clinic in Clinton.
Yes, very convenient, especially because I live in Bloomington. It always gets delivered right to your door.
I've used the online pharmacy. It's so easy.
Click the Covenant Animal Clinic icon at DeWittDailyNews.com to learn more.
Eagle Ridge Supportive Living Indicator is affordable to everyone. Marketing Director Carla Thomas here, inviting you to schedule your tour by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com and start enjoying supportive living.
Warner Hospital welcomes Gibson Area Hospital and Dr. Jason Yee, providing award-winning orthopedic health to DeWitt County. Your orthopedic health is important, and Dr. Yee specializes in joint replacement, sports injuries, knees, shoulders, and fracture care. Return to an active lifestyle and a higher quality of living with Gibson Area Hospital Orthopedics. Now seeing patients at the Warner Specialty Clinic in Clinton. Book your appointment with Dr. Yee in Clinton. Call 217-937-5279.
Tell Amazon Alexa, play WHOW Radio to hear the morning show and all our programming right there on your Amazon Echo.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW morning show streams live to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Caitlin Mellendorf, nutrition educator with the University of Illinois Extension, is on the phone with us. And Caitlin, we were talking in the break there a little bit. Another way to save money on groceries is to scour those, I think Sundays maybe is when a lot of ads come out for stores and such in the Sunday paper, and you'll find coupons in those and those sorts of things. Some retailers have online their apps and such offer coupons and things of that nature. Just talk about couponing and how folks can save money that way.
Yeah, so especially if your store is one that does like a customer award program, or they do, special things for the regulars, those are really great to take advantage of, because you will get coupons. And at least from places that I've shopped with these programs, they're better now at tailoring to foods that you buy. So I know we talked about this on the break, that sometimes the coupons that you see are either not for foods that you typically buy, and so they're not of interest to you, or they're for a name brand, which might actually be just cheaper to buy the store brand, even without the name brand coupon. Like, it's still more expensive with the coupon and the name brand product. So sometimes coupons, don't have that, as big a use for you, depending on your personal food choices. But if you have those award programs, and they're starting to tailor to your food choices, you get to see those coupons a little bit more closer to what you tend to buy, which is really nice. So you can take advantage of those coupons then. But then certainly go through those ads. You may come across something that is really like, oh, I want to try this out, or maybe it's for a new food that you've never tried before. And even in places where it's not a coupon, but they maybe show you what product is on sale, those are always good to check out. And if you are doing something like online shopping, sometimes they'll have coupons built into that system as well. So they're worth taking a look at. Depends on how much time you want to spend with couponing, because you can get some good discounts, but it's going to take you a while to gather all of these coupons there. But they are of use, and I know I've even gone to the register, and sometimes the store will have a copy of the ad up at the register, and they will scan coupons for you if you forget to bring them. So it's always worth asking if there's a way to help reduce price if you saw something in there. It's always worth asking, even if if it's a food that you want, but you saw it on sale and they didn't ring it up as a sale item. Go ahead and ask. Totally, you're right to get that cost savings.
Sure, absolutely. And again, just going back to the times we're in, I mean, any lengths you can go to get that cost savings is going to help. So, every little bit helps in the times we're in. So, Caitlin, anything on couponing, anything in general from, again, just smarter grocery shopping, given the challenges we face at the store these days? Anything you want to touch on there?
Yeah, my big takeaway with the coupon is make sure it's something that you actually want to spend your money on, because even if it is a coupon to save you money, you are still ultimately spending money on that product. So do make sure it's a food that's going to be worth spending money on, even if you get that savings. So really be mindful of what coupons you're using.
Sure. Very good. That's great advice. Very, very good advice. Caitlin, I know you've got a program coming up in, I want to say April, I think you told me, with Warner Hospital here in Clinton. What's going on there?
Yeah, so in a little less than a month, we're going to start a 4-part series called Primetime Health. And so Mackenzie Green, who is with Warner Hospital, she's their wellness coach over there. She's going to be leading this 4-part series called Primetime Health. And it's going to cover general topics around health and wellness. So things about stress management, using nutrition, using physical activity. So if you need this refresher, I think this is going to be a good overview of health and wellness. It's going to be a really nice overview in these 4 classes. So starting April the 5th, these are all Tuesday classes, starting at 10:30 in the morning, running till noon. and she will be there to teach these classes between April 5th, 12th, 19th, and 26th, so all Tuesdays. And you are, of course, encouraged to attend all 4, but if for some reason you can't, certainly come to the ones that you can. And if you want to get registered for that, we do want to have people register in advance. It is at go.illinois.edu/primetime, or you can certainly call the office here at 217-877-6042, and we'll get you signed up.
Caitlin, what will be some of the takeaways, just general takeaways? You don't have to dive into all the lessons and those sorts of things, but what will be some of the takeaways from that program?
So this series is really focused on promoting health in that more holistic manner. I know we've talked in previous months about, holistic wellness. So it's not just food and nutrition. It's, things about your mental health, your stress, your focus on your relationships. So it's going to have more of that holistic vibe to each session.
Very good. So look forward to all of those things. Anything, Caitlin? I've got about a minute left here still with you. Anything on that program? Any other programs you want to highlight? Doesn't have to be just DeWitt County. I know we've got strong listenership in Piatt and Macon County. Anything come to mind there?
So we just launched our big campaign for the Illinois Deer Donation Program. So this fall, we are going to be ramping up donations. So for any hunters out there, hunting organizations, meat processors, and food pantries, we definitely need your participation and your partnership with this program. So you can check us out at go.illinois.edu/deer donation to sign up as a partner. And if you're someone who wants to donate money to this project, all that money will go to supporting the meat processors for all their time and effort.
I'd forgotten about that one. That's a good one. So thanks for putting that out there again for us. So very good. Well, Caitlin, just in general, where do folks go to learn about all things nutrition, maybe some of the things you're working on or studying these days? How do they find you?
Yeah, so we cover DeWitt, Macon, and Piatt County, so they can find us at go.illinois.edu/DMP for DeWitt, Macon, Piatt. Check us out on social media, and then, of course, we list all of our classes and flyers in the office if you want to come visit us in person, or if you want to check us out online or on social media. We've got all our classes, not just nutrition ones, but all of the ag, gardening, and youth programming we offer too.
Very good, Caitlin. It's always good to talk to you. Thank you for your time today. Caitlin Mellendorf, nutrition educator, U of I Extension. Network News is now.
The Big 1520 WHOW Clinton, 92.3 FM, W222 BG Clinton, 106.5 FM,